So let me just make a clarification. So those two governorship primaries that you won, Peter Obi was a contestant in those primaries?
Yeah, he was.
He was a contestant?
Yes.
Okay. Just needed to clarify that.
But what happened was that later, the national chairman of the party, in the person of Chekwas, now said that the leaders of the party have decided that Anambra should be consensus because Ikemba was going to be our presidential candidate, and that Ikemba, the presidential candidate, said that for him to run, that he's going to be the person that he should be allowed in his state to nominate the person who became the governor. We spent a lot of money to construct the new e-registration system. On the launching, the Labour leaders and the Obi team came and said, they have so many members, let the registration process be free, so that within 1 week or two, that over 10 million people will be registered. And as we speak, I can tell you that people that Peter will be influenced to register, not more than 300 or so. And the southeast, the court base, up to now, we are still dragging not up to 170.
This is Niger Unfiltered on SYMFONI TV. My name is Olawale Oluwade, and my guest today is Mr. Ralph Nwosu, Chairman Emeritus, African Democratic Congress, and also a member of the Board of Trustees of the African Democratic Congress, ADC. You're welcome to the show.
Thank you very much, Mr. Olawale.
Nice to have you. Nice to have you on the show.
And God bless you.
Let's get right into our conversation.
Thank you.
Just a few days ago, Mr. Peter Obi, former presidential candidate under the Labour Party in 2023, of course, former governor of Anambra State, former governor of Kano State, Dr. Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso, both of them left the ADC, your party. How did the news come to you, and what was your reaction to their exit?
Considering the fact that in constructing the ADC coalition, it took us almost 2 years to construct it. And what happened within 1 week can destroy the work we put in for almost 10 years. You know, it's very easy to build. At times, it can take difficulties to build up something, but it can just take one careless mistake to destroy what had been built. But luckily, we have strategic persons, people who are very experienced and so on, who are handling the party now. And we are managing the outcome. So, yeah, it was painful considering the fact that I did everything I needed to do. And then, for me, it was self-sacrificing. We can do anything for Nigeria. And when we started the process, I consulted almost any Nigerian leader you can think about, from the former presidents to former heads of state, and so on. And we said, the way Nigeria is going is not good. From the last 8 years of APC to what we're experiencing now, and so that our democracy could be better. And more so, it got threatening when the president and his men of the moment were trying to gag up the system. And then maybe for some reasons, they started to feel that Nigeria is like Lagos State, that they can put it together and put it in their pocket. And people needed to say, no, it's beyond that. And we worked very hard. We made consultations. We spent a lot of money making this consultation, because it's not easy bringing opposition leaders together. And that is one of the most difficult things to do. A lot of dialogue, a lot of constituency, a lot of give and take, and so on and so forth, anywhere in the world. That's why occasionally when people say, when people try to say the APC model is how to go. I said, no. All over the world, the best place to deal with an incumbent who is becoming dictatorial, who is trying to clamp down on the systems, is for the opposition people to try, forget about their personal ambition and come together. And I think we achieved that to a good degree. Whatever must have triggered the exit of Obi, who is my brother, and Kwankwaso, I don't know, but one day they will have to explain it to Nigerians. One day.
Thank you for your opening remarks. One of the many reasons Mr. Peter Obi cited when he was announcing his exit from the ADC, he said, of course, he alluded to the overbearing influence of, or destabilizing influence of the ruling APC. He also said there was deepening internal crisis within the ADC, toxicity within the political that was worsening in the ADC, factional battles, deep suspicion, and a growing lack of disunity within the same ADC. Are these reasons that he has given, are they cogent? Do they sound plausible to you?
Let me ask you. When you're bringing together different political parties, because we assume that most people who are in politics are there for the purpose of the country. You're in politics so that and you're in political parties so that you can contest election and participate in government, in reshaping the trajectory of the state. And now, the countries, the way we are, you ask from Peter Obi to Kwankwaso to everybody, they say, no, this is pathetic. Do you want to get it right? Yes. We have to come together to do it. Because you can see the effect of what is doing. So it's clear that to come together is the best way. Is it easy to do that? No. And when you're having your views and you're having your views, but we've managed all that. I think we've managed all that. The ADC, which at times people say legacy ADC, we gave in almost everything. We gave everything. We sacrificed everything. I was the founding national chairman, and I've spent billions of naira building the party from 2005 to the present. And this is not the first time we tried to build a national coalition. If you remember, okay, in 2007, we presented part to Tommy because of the kind of values and the way we want to be perceived, the way we want to be seen. That's what ADC represented. Part to Tommy was our first presidential candidate. And after we finished that tour of Nigeria, it was clear to us for any of these for any of the small parties to make the impact we wanted and begin to change this country, there is the need to form coalition. So since 2007, we've invested time doing that. Then by 2020, we tried different things, trying to bring all the small political parties together. There was a time we almost succeeded, but after, and then we wanted to form, we're calling it mega party, that all the small parties to come together and have a mega party. At a point, some of the people that we were discussing with now took the name mega party to go and register a party called mega party. And the whole thing just, your people said, Dabaru. And we continued, we were undaunted because we were clear, this is the best way to go. Then in 2018, former President Obasanjo set up a coalition of political parties, civil societies, etc. They called it the Coalition for Nigerian Movement. And that people came together. That was during this, when the first term of Buhari was coming to an end. They came together and said, what we've seen of APC cannot do this country good. It's not just about the man Buhari. Buhari is a great man, a patriot, thinks right, integrity, but the type of people around him was woeful. And most of them were supplied by leaders. Then, like Jagoban, who was in Lagos, and supplying all the money for the process and so on and so forth. And then now, so then, you know what happened? After President Obasanjo moved around, did his due diligence, it was ADC that coalition zeroed on. And the CNM, Coalition of Nigerian Movement, was dissolved into ADC by the man, President Obasanjo. He made a 1-hour national broadcast to say, this is the party to go if we want to build a new Nigeria. So, but unfortunately, that again didn't work. Then in 2022-23, we tried something else, it didn't work. But by after 2023 election, and the way we saw things going from the first day, unthought of, unplanned of, so nothing anybody had had. The day that President Tinubu was being sworn in, he made it clear, he said, fuel subsidy gone. How do you run a state from the spur of the moment without thinking? When the institutions in Nigeria give you so much human resources to work with, so much human resources. Look at all the ministries, Ministry of Planning, Ministry of Establishment, all of them. You didn't allow yourself to be sworn in, and then just there, you took everybody. As a matter of fact, the economy almost collapsed because of that decision. And that was a dangerous signal. The first signal was the way the election was won. Wasn't good. And then this again, on the day of swearing, we saw this. Then we started consulting. That consultation is what culminated to everybody agreeing that, come, from what you're seeing, this man came in with his Lagos mentality. He's going to try to muzzle everybody and then build a one-party state, which we will see. National Assembly is in his hand. So we started working. And in the works, members of CPC and APC, they were involved, who said, after what they've seen in their party, no way. They are ready to identify with people who are more progressive-minded. Because, you know, in APC, they say, all progressives, but that progressive is problematic. So the progressive-minded people said, they can't continue like that. They joined in this process. So APC, Labour Party, PDP, and all some other political organizations decided to join. We started knitting it together. I will tell you, I could remember the ADC group that I was leading. I made it clear from the beginning, because even in 2018, when Baba brought his group, what I told them is that, come, I'm not here. The chairman is not what I want to be. We've created a party which we want to, for some good people to use to change this country. And that while they're doing that, they should just forget about me being chairman. We want to build something that everybody will get involved in, and all of us will decide on who the whole stakeholders will have confidence in to be chairman. So my mind was made up there. So when we started the negotiation, I told them something, and they were surprised. I said, come, with all of you, let's come together and build something with which we can deliver this country. One of the biggest sacrifices I had to make, it's not about me stepping down from the position of chairman. We had wanted ADC, the original ADC, to have the position of the National Organizing Secretary. And I can tell you why. Why was it that we needed the position of the National Organizing Secretary? We wanted that person to recognize the members of the old ADC that would be making the sacrifice, so that when they're organizing anything, when they are sending maybe a committee to any state to do something, they are remembering those people who stepped down for this thing to work and keeping them on assignment so that they don't feel left out. But when eventually the Labour Party team, led by Obi, said that the position they will want in the coalition, for them to be part of it, will be that of National Organizing Secretary. I felt somehow. Because I think PDP had requested earlier that they have somebody who is well experienced to manage the organizing. And I said no. They dragged it. I said no, we won't let it go. Why we're not letting it go? Because what we did wasn't a transaction. We are sacrificing something for everybody to get involved so that we can see how to salvage our country. And then, so when they came, I said no outrightly. And when I explained to the stakeholders, I said, we want to keep this because we don't want to keep the ADC people who will be relinquishing their position. We don't want to, we want to make sure the person who is there is always picking them for an assignment so that they all feel a sense of belonging. Yeah. Because in politics, it's very easy to forget the people that have made the sacrifice. So when Peter Obi, my brother, now said that's the position they will want, to give them comfort. It was a big one for me. And then we gave him. So Peter Obi personally brought the person that became the National Organizing Secretary. He brought the person himself from the Southeast. From Anambra. I'm from Anambra, Peter's from Anambra. We did that. Just concessions we had to make to ensure that this thing worked. I stepped down as national chairman. We stepped down almost 70% of the National Working Committee. I think we still have about 25% in the current National Working Committee. And just like today, when some members of the National Committee don't feel that it's like the new party leaders don't even remember them. And at times, they want to box me on the corner. Look at you. I said, calm down. We think we will get to government soon, and you repeat. So they're not getting it. And possibly, if the ADC still had the control of that, there are some things, some people that had that became vulnerable, and the people in power poached them that we could have assigned to some functions and so on. But that is it. So everything was given to the critical stakeholders, the APC and CPC people. They got ACN people. They got the secretary. David Mark was not taken because he was PDP, but it was a general consensus. By them. Kwankwaso had not joined us, but Obi was there, Atiku was there, Ameti was there, and they thought, who can hold this thing together? Because it's very delicate. Yes. And they thought David Mark had the right leadership, his military discipline, and the fact that he understands the politics very well, and became Senate President. It's him. And then everybody voted for him. But even at that, when they were not being looked at, they still say it's PDP. So that the PDP had the chairman, then we insisted it. And I think he said that when we had agreed that there was going to be primaries to elect who becomes the chairman. And I can remember when we were approached that, please, let this National Organizing Secretary go to Obi, that they felt if there's going to be primary, they want to make sure that nobody is able to rig anybody out. So that was given to Obi. So we thought that everybody was well accommodated, and all the fear, the tendencies, we tried to straighten it out.
Okay, so look at this, detailed explanation you have given on how this new ADC, came to emergence, the trade-offs, the concessions, just to make sure all the contending parties are well taken care of, their interests are well taken care of. So I go back, when Mr. Peter Obi says, listed all these excuses as the reason why he leaves, obviously it does not hold water. But I want to dial back a little bit to history. Because Kenneth Okonkwo...
No, but before then, let me make some more this thing. To Peter Steele, the ADC, we had a very big website that is even housed by Amazon. Very big, sophisticated. And in that website, we have members registration, the membership registration session there. And so it's already a portal operating. But for purpose of what we are doing, for the transparency and so on, people now said that we needed to set up a different portal because they didn't, that nobody would trust what was already on this old portal. And so that we needed to do new membership registration and revalidation. And that a new membership e-registration portal must be created. And for that again, a Kashim Imam, who happened to be the chairman of that was trying to create new processes. Now I said, okay, put Aisha Yusufu to be the chairman, the e-registration, the chairman of the e-registration. Aisha Yusufu arranged the engineers that constructed that e-registration portal, did everything, and she was completely in charge. So you will say for somebody who is just like somebody who appointed the INEC chairman and then who is going to bring the list, the voters register, and so on so anyway, it's strange, but we did all of this thing to make sure that everybody saw that ADC wanted to do something differently. Because if we're building a coalition, and when you build coalition again, maybe overseas you might say, okay, who scored the last vote during the last election? You say, okay, maybe we should build this coalition around him. As far as Nigerian own result is concerned, Atiku Abubakar was second, but that was a largely disputed result. So we say, even if we don't want to work with that model, let's say we are going to do primaries. Whomever wins, go ahead. And we made sure that everybody was well accommodated to ensure that that was properly done.
This clarification you gave is so very, very important. Not only as the legacy chairman of the ADC, you are an active, member of the NWC. These details could only have come from smaller cube. But I want to dial back a little bit into history because Kenneth Okonkwo, the former spokesperson of Peter Obi in Labour, now also a member of the NWC in the ADC, has claimed that Peter Obi is only afraid of primary contest. He tries to run away from primaries, and he plotted his trajectory. And that brings me to you, that in APGA, Peter Obi's first emergence into politics contested for governorship in Anambra State against you, and you won, before maybe Tim Chukwuemeka Ojukwu compelled or prevailed on you to step down. Can you shed light on, because it's very important, Chief Nwosu, shed light on this bit of history for us?
You see, Peter Obi happened to be my brother.
Yes.
And if you recall, when we had the last election in 2023, we collapsed ADC to support Labour Party and Peter Obi for presidential election. It was only ADC, the African Democratic Congress, that said we are collapsing our own listen to support Peter Obi and the Labour Party.
But Dumebi
yes, we had issues with Dumebi, just as we're having issues with him. Dumebi is just a dear man. Unfortunately, we didn't know him. But I think with what he's doing currently, I think Nigerians Nigerians have gotten to know him. Then in 2023, it was like my voice against his, and people were even beginning to doubt my own integrity. But I think with time, people have gotten to know him. He's a callous willy dealer. But that's so because of that, we did a convention and suspended and said we are removing him as a presidential candidate. And we, ADC, it's well documented. We had a major event. We spent ADC money. We didn't have money, but we still spent our own money to endorse Peter Obi and the Labour Party almost 2 weeks before the election. It was popularly, it was carried. And so you can see. And again, when I want to stay away from talking about Peter, I want you to also see this. So we did that. Time has overtaken a lot of things. And after doing that, after the election and then the result modeling began, there were only three parties in Nigeria that organized a press conference to say that what was happening in international conference was unacceptable to us. What are the three parties? PDP, Labour Party, and ADC. So even when this thing was getting a bit, when the coalition talk was becoming complicated, at the point I challenged them. I said, come, if all of you were thinking right, which party would you go to? PDP, you were protesting result. Labour Party, you were protesting result. And you called out for political parties to come together. They saw what was going. And none of them came. And it was only ADC that came. It's not like if the result was overturned that ADC was going to become president. It's either PDP or Labour Party will be president. And we came out and participated, and so on. That should show you the quality of political party we've always tried to build. And then, so that is that. We supported Peter Obi, not just now, before, and so. And if there's anybody that people will even think, okay, even in this coalition, people were a bit scared that the ADC was like Peter Obi's party. Because in the immediate last election, ADC collapsed its structure to support Peter Obi. So now, Anambra election was a very long time ago. And so as I said, a lot of water has passed under the bridge, and it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate. I think one of the person that, there's some other guy who is central to what happened in Anambra State, the national chairman of APGA then. National chairman of APGA then knew my contributions. He knew everything. No, not Victor. Kwankwaso. Kwankwaso was the founding national chairman. A great guy, but when you are running a political party, at times temptations and so will just land on your footsteps. So what happened in Anambra State? And Kwankwaso, for instance, when he came to Anambra State, because Anambra State was the first place where I organized a major rally that we put the APGA on the face of the people. I organized that. By then, he came, but wasn't even showing up that much. Kwankwaso was there. And before Kwankwaso climbed the rostrum that day, he removed his slippers. He removed his shoe. He was actually wearing shoe. He had socks. He dramatized it. Had socks, put them off, and walked, and said he's matching his foot on ordinary floor. That anybody who will cheat or who will maybe do anything bad towards candidate selection, and so he said, Amadioha, I don't know if you know, Amadioha is the big God. That big God should deal with him. He said that before a lot of persons. Therefore, and he meant it, but I just said that in politics, a lot of challenges can come. And he meant it. He was well-meaning. He said that, and a lot of people from Anambra State believed him. Then, when it was time for the primaries was going on everywhere, and Anambra State primary was hard. Not once. It was held 2 times, and I won that primary. Despite the fact that at the point, when Victor rejoined the APGA, and then he was sent by Peter, they insisted that they would bring the state chairman of the party. But what made myself and the people who organized the party very popular and made APGA the winning machine then was that I sponsored somebody. We had a by-election in Anyamelum, and I went to Anyamelum and I said, this time let us show the people let us show government, the incumbent government, that the people force is more important in any game. We went to mobilize Anyamelum to say, give us a candidate to contest the election. They contested, and for the first time, the force of the people overwhelmed the government. And it was on this, when this happened, that some other opportunists who were standing somewhere say, wow, they didn't know that a new party, we were then about 3 months old, that a new party can win an election. And they all of them trooped in. We said, no problem. The primary was conducted, and then not once, not 2 times. My name was clear. But Chekwas was, there were pressure. Running party can be very expensive. There was a lot of pressure. And then he came by our leader, Atoeze, and others. We didn't know where this pressure was coming. But as far as I'm concerned, to go and mobilize the people to vote, I was doing. And then to also build the infrastructure, because you need structure. We built the structure, and the structure delivered the person they know can win the election. But, so, even if I stepped out, we marketed the party so much that anybody who you put there, we built a winning machine, and the winning machine will always win, and so on. So, but that's become history. We quarreled after. Let me tell you something. Do you know that the founding national secretary of APGA happened to also be the national secretary, Alhaji Saidu Abdullahi, happened to be the national secretary of ADC. You know why? He became the national secretary because they didn't like what happened to me in APGA. They didn't like it. So today we are still working together. Quite a handful. Dr. Mani, who is today is the national legal advisor, happened to also be part of the people who left APGA because of what happened to me. But as I said, we have supported, ADC have supported Peter when he was governor. ADC have supported him when he ran for president. And in this last election, ADC equally supported him.
So let me just make a clarification. So those 2 governorship primaries that you won, Peter Obi was a contestant in those primaries?
Yeah, he was.
He was a contestant?
Yes.
Okay. Just needed to clarify that. And
but what happened was that later, the national chairman of the party, in the person of Chekwas, now said that the leaders of the party have decided that Anambra should be consensus because Ikemba was going to be our presidential candidate, and that Ikemba, the presidential candidate, said that for him to run, that he's going to be the person that he should be allowed in his state to nominate the person who became the governor.
Interesting. We just needed that bit of clarity on history. Now, let's switch gears to the ADC. Many pundits are saying that different legal booby traps laid on the path of the ADC as we slide into 2027, may scoop out whatever chances the ADC has, even besides the Peter Obi and Kwankwaso's exit. Legal threats. How do you respond to this?
As far as I'm concerned, part of the reason why people are saying that the Tinubu administration want a coronation, and possibly with the way he's controlling the National Assembly, yes, to even perpetuate himself in the presidency. That's basically what is going on. As far as the building the coalition is concerned, I tell you something, and it's clear. All the processes, not one, all the processes were well done and conducted with INEC looking clearly. We notified INEC for all the processes, and then everything was done. When you talk about, now, and it's unfortunate that people point at our judiciary with, with contempt. It's unfortunate. And these are men and women that's supposed to be of high standing. Men and women that ordinarily Before, Nigerians were sending their judges to international courts, the Hagues and everywhere. And with what is happening now, who can we send there? So it's not right. Most of the time, what has happened, for instance, most of the time, during our democratic runs, First Republic, Second Republic, the politicians put the country at a very delicate point, and then the next thing you invite the military. Happened in the First Republic is the rascality of the political players. First Republic, Second Republic, and then the third was botched. Then now here we are. You see a National Assembly, and in our constitution, it's this bicameral system, National Assembly on their own, then executive on their own, and then the judiciary. They have power to check each other so that we can have some form of equilibrium that brings good policies and dividend for the Nigerian people. But now that has been distorted, and distorted gravely. Distorted to the extent that you enter the National Assembly, senators, everybody will stand on your mandate, we stand. To the executive, on your mandate we stand. Not anywhere in the world you see that. Now, the judiciary. The APC, our politicians in APC are making the judiciary to look the way they are looking. Eminent young men and women. I'm sure that although most of them have become old, that's a bit elderly now, but I know that it must have been their brilliance that their people send them to school to study law. And their brilliance have brought them to a particular level. But what they are doing now, due to the prodding of the political players, is not good for the country or the system. So ADC has nothing in ADC that we did wrongly. Everything that is going on there has been manipulated. And when you hear people like Chief of Staff to Mr. President, who you know more or less is Mr. President. When he speaks, it's Mr. President is speaking. When you hear him say say the kind of things that we saw. Nowadays, now the social media has also made, because before you can say certain things and it's in a closed door, and it will now be that I'm reporting to you also. And at times now, even now, you see things with your corocoro eyes and say, oh no, it's AI. Yeah. But what we saw is not AI. A party setting. I know Abejide. I worked with him for going up to 6 years. And so on. Before, I think, for almost a year plus now, our relationship has been a bit strained. Not really strained, he's my friend, but for some reasons, after he became the chairman of customs in the National Assembly, he just became APC. But it's unfortunate. Whatever we are facing, number one, they talked about they're going to the register ADC, but in INEC report, INEC gave them that ADC has clean a report of quality health. Why do you include them there? Anything that's provided by the Constitution, ADC has it. Then you see Banana Fuel. Banana Fuel, in a body of 137 NEC members. And then the NEC moved the motion. Somebody in NEC moved the motion that following this our coalition that we've been working on, that the NWC and zonal leadership be dissolved, so that to give accommodation for our partners, which is in the Bible we can do, which is in the Constitution that we can do, and so on. Then it was done. INEC was there. The CTC copies are there. Then later, one person said, no, that he's declared himself chairman.
Out of 137 people.
Out of 137 people. And a motion was passed. In any, whether it's corporate or union or party, once a quorum is formed and and something is adopted, even in National Assembly, then the thing becomes law. So how can one person now say, and then they're not putting that in their law? Meanwhile, it's there in what in what the INEC wrote, but they're not saying resign or not resign. If you think Obi Nwosu forged your signature, sue me. Yes. Sue me. I want to be challenged that I forged a banana fuse signature, and then we go there because on the day the activity took place, others were there, and I think Dr. Jadi is some guy. At times, when this is happening, he's doing some taping without anybody knowing. Even has it on his his phone, captured everything, and then he now says he didn't resign. Forget resigning. Did we pass resolution? Were you there? That was even assuming he's not there. He still does not invalidate it because we formed a quorum. And then it's in court. And Nigeria, we are hearing it. And we're using it to cause all of this problem in the sky. That's the second case. The third case, now state chairmen, they came together. They cannot be removed. This because their tenure has ended. And they now see that, oh, the party has become so big. If you cause problems, you get recognition, you can blackmail anybody, and so you want to blackmail us because INEC has reduced itself, and then the presidency of the day has reduced themselves to not allowing democracy to flourish. Come on. The Ballot administration, history will not have any good record for them. And considering the fact that he's one of those that supposedly championed Nadeko under the military, and now he took over power and he's doing this.
You did mention the Booby case. How far with that?
I don't even remember what Booby is claiming. You know, the Booby, as I said, he has what medical people call. So he thinks somehow because he got ADC presidential candidate. He thought even under 20 years that he's still the ADC presidential candidate. But presidential candidate technically expires after the election. And if you took a party's candidacy and you're not able to win, you're supposed to feel very shameful that you wasted that candidacy and so on. But rather than feel that way, he feels it's become a ticket for him. So maybe by the time ADC will be in the villa, by 2027, I want to know if in 2031, in what color he will come.
Okay, so we need to make progress. We're running out of time, so if you can make it fast, the next set of questions. Now, the exit of Peter Obi and Governor Kwankwaso, it seemed to have rattled the ADC hierarchy, the party, and all of that. And they seem to be having, making waves, if I may use that phrase. They are claiming that, so many people have moved there, they are registering thousands of millions of people, okay. They are the new kid on the block. Did the ADC party apparatchik, did you underestimate their influence? Peter Obi and Kwankwaso, did you?
Now, I want to tell you something. It rattled some persons like our national chairman, frankly, okay. I must say. I've not seen him because I traveled and I came back. And I know he felt rattled. Because after he witnessed the whole system and tried to be as open and as fair as possible. David Mark, after we spent a lot of money to construct the new e-registration system. That's one. We're not supposed to spend that money, but we spent it. And again, on the launching, he said that the the Labour leaders and the Obi team came and said, they have so many members. Let the registration process be free, so that within 1 week or two, that over 10 million people will be registered. And he looked and said, okay, if we can have 10 million people as our members, maybe we can let the money go. it convinced the NWC to take that decision. So you can go, even if you want to be an ADC member today, you can go and you register without paying any money. They took that decision. By now, membership registration could have fetched us about 7.something billion. Yes. But took that decision. So everybody can register free. And as we speak, I can tell you that people that Peter Obi influenced to register, not more than 300 or so. And the southeast, the core base, up to now, we are still dragging not up to 170, and so on. And this is with the expectation that, you know, due to the noise that 5 million, 10 million people are going to become members through Peter Obi. And the process, frankly, every other day, the figures, comes out, and all the leaders will see it. This is registration of every state. This is how they stand. Obi was seeing it. Then, Kwankwaso just joined. Yes. We have worked very hard because we wanted everybody to be on the team. But Kwankwaso all along, when the chairman and other leaders would send people to him, he was more interested on negotiating with the people in power, for whatever reason. I think it was when it finally failed, and then his governor joined them, and he thought no more option, that he came into ADC, and so on. And I don't know, building structures, building the political party, bringing people together, it's a very, very, very difficult thing. And we did it. They left, but I can, as a matter of fact, let's say about, give it that 300 or 400, even 500,000 registered in ADC because of Peter. But between the time Peter and Kwankwaso left, we've had over 1.something million register more. And we have people contesting election everywhere. In River State, we have almost 8 governorship contestants. It's affected us in the southeast. That affected in the southeast. But we really don't want to do that much, because in the southeast, let's take Anambra for example. I came for a meeting, we were called by one of the Anambra leaders, and they said, come, Ikolo, my title name is Ikolo, that Obi says he wants to produce the chairman and secretary of in Anambra State. I said, what does Obi, is he running for governor? Why does he think that anybody who is chairman or secretary in Anambra will affect his winning the presidential candidacy? And that I don't see any other person who is running for election in Nigeria who would think that is to come and get the delegates from Anambra that will make the person to win. I said, anybody that is chairman of Anambra, okay, with that it's like all of us are committed to voting for him. Why would he want it? It was disruption, very, very disruptional. And the same thing happened in most of the southeastern states. And now, I remember once I had this conversation with David Maka, our chairman, and he said, they said, this Anambra, you should. But I said, come, I'm not contesting election. Anambra, that I just said, come, I'm a bit concerned. There's something I'm witnessing. Assuming tomorrow, this man leaves the party. So we now say Anambra has collapsed. And that's one of the things that they did. And it's painful to people like me. But if you have ideas with activity management, we are dealing with it, and we are coming back very stronger.
Brilliant. We need to really wrap up. We need to round up. I'll move very fast. Looking at 2027, sir, how confident are you that the ADC will be on the ballot paper for that election, considering all these machinations of the party, of the ruling party and the government, the judiciary, all the shenanigans? Are you confident that ADC will be on the ballot?
There's no reason for ADC not to be on the ballot. I can tell you 100%. And if this government will go in any way remove ADC from the ballot, a big problem will happen in this country. I can assure you, because everything we did was well done. Nothing. And understand, David Mark is a disciplined man. He's a very disciplined man. From his military days, they know him as, for that. And he did what is David Mark looking to be National Party chairman after being Senate president, after being everything? No. He wanted to work to shape the course of, to reshape the downfall of the Nigerian state and so on. That's why he decided to run, to be the chairman. So there's nothing they can do.
Now, what pathway, speaking honestly,
yes,
and I know you very well, what pathway is there for the ADC in next year's election, given seeming public disenchantment, because of suspicion that the ADC is a special purpose vehicle for one man's ambition, which is former VP Atiku Abubakar?
Thank you. So after all I've said now, you think I donated the party for one man's ambition. Meanwhile, ADC in 2024, we had a summit in Arewa House. And the title of the summit is that the political party is not an SPV. The political party is not a Molwell or Tuke. And people with that mentality should be careful that the political party is one of the strongest instruments that can help shape the course of our democracy, because the ideologies and everything is important. We held that as a summit. So talking about being a special purpose vehicle, okay, in 2023, ADC, Atiku was running, Obi was running, ADC decided to support Atiku, to support Obi. Then in for 2027, ADC now decided to be there and then to be used as a special vehicle for Atiku come. People who are saying that they don't know me and they don't know the integrity built into the ADC.
So you are guaranteeing the public that the ADC will conduct a free, fair, and transparent primaries, sure, or is it consensus? What method has been?
With Obi and Kwankwaso living now, it's become the leadership in conversation and so on, but it is based on whatever they agree. If there's an agreement for consensus is done. If there's go ahead and do your primaries, that will be done.
Final question, sir. As you sit here with your vast knowledge of party politics in Nigeria, in this Fourth Republic, your confidence about the chances of possibility of the ADC clinching the presidential ticket in 2027, has it weakened because of exit of Peter Obi and Kwankwaso and other issues? Has it weakened or has it been reinforced? Has it become stronger? Okay.
By the time all of us were in the same house, we were almost
home and dry.
But the problem then is that people were becoming complacent, and that's why all of this now, since we are home and dry, people thought it must be me by all means. That selfishness in persons came to board, and so. But now, it just requires us to do some more work, and we've already started doing it. And luckily, the leadership of the party is in a good hand. If I tell you the kind of solid work that is being done now, if you know, you will know that 100% ADC will still win this election.
Some, like last question, I know I said the other one, but this is last question. Some are seeing the ADC now, they are perceiving it, it is being perceived as a regional party, like a northern party that has inherited the Buhari, the CPC.
So a party built by an Oka man has become a northern party.
You said Peter Obi did not, nobody from Southeast did not register much, even under Peter Obi in the ADC.
Even with Peter Obi. So you can see how that's apathetic a people can be at times. And then maybe some few people, a few hundreds of persons will go on social media and be posting certain things. And then some of those posts, let me shock you. Some of those posts are also being done by the agents of people in the villa to sow certain agenda and give some larger than life image that will not allow for people to reason, to be able to come together.
Okay, so the ADC is not a regional party?
Not a regional party. Not a regional party. Very soon, the moment, by next week, the characters of what Nigeria will say will start to show up. And I tell you, the winning this time will not be the one anybody will be doubting.
It will be a landslide or a moonslide.
It will be landslide.
Landslide. That's a nice place to anchor. Thank you so much for coming,
God bless you.
Chief Ralph Nwosu.
Thank
and
you
I'm sure we'll see again very soon.
Sure, 100%.
Thank you for coming.
God bless you. Thank you.